Q9097. What minimum condition is suggested for declaring an emergency? A. Anytime the pilot is doubtful of a condition that could adversely affect flight safety. B. When fuel endurance or weather will require an en route or landing priority. C. When distress conditions such as fire, mechanical failure, or structural damage occurs. The correct answer is A. Declaring an emergency is ultimately a judgment call made by the pilot in command. While distress conditions such as fire, mechanical failure, or structural damage clearly warrant declaring an emergency, the minimum condition suggested for declaring an emergency is when the pilot is doubtful of a condition that could adversely affect flight safety. This means that if the pilot has any concerns or doubts about the safety of the flight, it is recommended to declare an emergency to ensure that appropriate assistance and priority are provided. Option B, regarding fuel endurance or weather conditions that require en route or landing priority, may not necessarily meet the threshold for declaring an emergency on its own. However, if these conditions reach a critical level where they pose an immediate threat to the safety of the flight, it may be appropriate to declare an emergency. In summary, while distress conditions clearly warrant declaring an emergency, the minimum condition suggested for declaring an emergency is when the pilot is doubtful of a condition that could adversely affect flight safety. Q9051. What is the hijack code? A. 7200. B. 7500. C. 7777. The correct answer is B. When an aircraft is being hijacked or unlawfully taken control of, the pilot or crew can discreetly transmit a specific 4-digit code, known as a transponder code or squawk code, to air traffic control, ATC. The hijack code used worldwide is 7500. By entering this code into the aircraft's transponder, it alerts ATC and other aircraft that the flight is under unlawful interference. It is important to note that the hijack code should only be used in genuine hijacking situations, as it is a serious matter and can trigger significant response and coordination from authorities. Q9052. Which range of codes should a pilot avoid switching through when changing transponder codes? A. 0000 through 1000. B. 7200 and 7500 series. C. 7500, 7600, and 7700 series. The correct answer is C. Pilots should avoid switching through the 7500, 7600, and 7700 transponder code series because these codes are reserved for hijacking/unlawful interference, radio communication failure, and general emergency/distress. Q9362. After experiencing two-way radio communications failure en route, when should a pilot begin the descent for the instrument approach? A. Upon arrival at any initial approach fix for the instrument approach procedure, but not before the flight plan ETA, as amended by ATC. B. Upon arrival at the holding fix depicted on the instrument approach procedure at the corrected ETA, plus or minus 3 minutes. C. At the primary initial approach fix for the instrument approach procedure at the ETA shown on the flight plan or the EFC time, whichever is later. The correct answer is A. When a pilot experiences two-way radio communication failure en route, they must adhere to specific procedures to safely navigate and execute the instrument approach. In this scenario, the pilot should begin the descent for the instrument approach upon arrival at any initial approach fix for the instrument approach procedure. However, it is important to note that the descent should not begin before the flight plan ETA as amended by Air Traffic Control, ATC. Q9363. If a pilot is being radar vectored in IFR conditions and loses radio communications with ATC, what action should be taken? A. Fly directly to the next point shown on the IFR flight plan and continue the flight. B. Squawk 7700 and climb to VFR on top. C. Fly direct to a fix, route, or airway specified in the vector clearance. The correct answer is C. When radio communications are lost, pilots are expected to follow specific procedures to ensure safety and maintain coordination. In this scenario, the pilot should fly directly to a fix, route, or airway that was specified in the vector clearance given by ATC. This ensures that the pilot continues to follow the assigned routing and maintains the intended course as directed by ATC prior to the communication failure.